already has his fair share of money woes, but one thing he's good at is fundraising. Now it's being reported that a Trump PAC actually used the money raised, millions of dollars, to pay his daughter's legal bills. Business Insider reviewed FEC records and found that $2.3 million raised for the Save America PAC was actually diverted to Ivanka Trump's legal defense. An additional $5.3 million went to a law firm that represented Trump's 3 eldest children, including Ivanka and Trump Organization.
My father will this is your statement. My father will also send you his most recent financial statement.
Okay.
Do you understand that to mean that it was your father's financial statement?
I mean, it says what it says, but I don't have any recollection of this. I don't know what I meant by it, or I don't recall.
The money raised in the PAC was supposed to go towards Trump's presidential campaign. The PAC was founded after the 2020 presidential election, and the messaging surrounding it was very much about Trump taking back the White House after it was stolen from him. He pushed unfounded accusations of election fraud, raising tens of millions of dollars from his supporters with the promise that the money would be used towards his election defense fund. So you might hear defense fund and assume that he means maybe a legal defense for election fraud. So what's the problem? Well, first of all, his children aren't the ones involved in a so-called faulty election. And secondly, the funds weren't just used for any election-related legal defense. Among its uses, Trump used the money for his legal defense in the New York-based bank fraud trial that is currently ongoing.
Trump raised a lot of money from his indictments, but he's also, as you also mentioned, let me just cover that point that you raised a minute ago, he's also spending a lot on his legal fees from his fundraising. Last year, he took $55 million of money that his donors gave him and used it on his legal fees. May well have been all of his legal costs for what we know. In the second half of the year, he took $29 million. Most of it came from, this is MAGA Inc. This is his PAC for super biggest donors. So people like Linda McMahon from WWE are in here. I don't know whether they would be surprised to know that 60% of all the money they gave to this PAC went to Trump's legal fees, was funneled all the way around here and ended up in legal fees. I don't know whether the people who contributed, even a lot of those small dollar contributions that you saw over there, would know that 10% of their money went to pay Trump's legal fees, and he's announced that he will continue to do that.
We spoke about this case earlier this week, as the judge is expected to issue a judgment within the next week or so. But basically, the case brought by the New York Attorney General alleges that Trump and his children artificially inflated the value of their properties for the purpose of receiving financial benefits.
At this stage in our lives, it's just another day. Will you be back tomorrow? I don't believe so. I think we're done.
Trump is expected to lose this case and be required to pay a fine of over $250 million. The Trump Organization is also expected to be dissolved. The attorneys working for Ivanka specifically argued that their client was unique in that she actually left Trump Org in 2017. Ivanka was subsequently dropped from the lawsuit, so it would appear that the money was well spent. Still, Ivanka and her husband are worth $1 to $2 billion. They didn't need those 2 million PAC dollars. Overall, the Trump PAC spent over $50 million on legal costs, many of which had no relevance to Trump's claims of election fraud nor to his 2024 re-election campaign. For instance, he took legal action against media companies who he said were treating him unfairly, and he was sued by several people and entities, including his former fixer, Michael Cohen. So there is a case here for PAC spending violations, but in order for there to be a case, the FEC has to say that there's a case. The FEC currently has a Republican commissioner, and he has yet to agree that there is in fact a case. He's even voted against taking action against the Trump PAC every time the FEC's nonpartisan legal team has recommended doing so. The legality and ethics of this story is one thing, but the other story is the disrespect Trump has for his supporters. He lied to them, saying that the money would be used for one thing when it was really being used for another thing. They donated money to him with the belief and expectation that their money was going towards the Trump re-election campaign, not his legal fees. Still, it's hard to feel bad for the people who have donated and continue to donate to someone like Trump. He loves to remind his base that he is a billionaire worth billions and billions and billions of dollars, but he is constantly asking them for money for things that should come out of his own pocket, like his non-election related legal fees. He's a known and proven grifter, yet his supporters continue to support him both politically and financially. You can't really blame Trump for this one though. People will treat you the way you allow yourself to be treated. All right, that's it for me. If you got anything out of this, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and check out my podcast, Modern Context. Thanks.